Okay, so again, good morning everyone.
Good morning, Teacher Nova.
So for music, our lesson is all about the Music Theater and Festival of Asia. So first we have here the Japanese theater. So when we say Japanese theater, it is a traditional form of popular theater which began at the end of the 16th century and soon became the most successful theater entertainment in the red light district of the great cities in Japan. So together with the No, it is considered the most important Japanese contribution to the world of theater. So the No and the Kabuki are unique and genuine expressions of the Japanese spirit and the culture. So they mirror, however, taste and ideals of the different social classes is profoundly different environments and epoch. So we have here different vocal patterns and technique used in the Japanese theater. So first we have here the epokoshi or the continuous pattern. So the epokoshi is used in speeches building up an explosive climax in the aragoto or the oversized supernatural rough hero style. And it requires an extraordinary breath control that only few experts succeed in achieving the epokoshi. Another vocal pattern and techniques is the no technique. So when you say no technique, adapted from the chanting of the jururi, implies a very sensitive capacity of riding the rhythms of the shamisen, or we say shamisen, the string instruments, declaring each accompaniment. And last we have the yakuharai technique. So the subtle delivery of poetical text written in the Japanese metrical form of alternating 7 and 5 syllables. So the vocal instrumental features under the Japanese theater is the shamisen music. So when we say shamisen music, collected and popularized number of aspects from all previous forms of Japanese music. Next is we have the Chinese theater. So for the Chinese theater, uh, example of this is the Peking opera. So Peking opera is a form of traditional Chinese theater that combines music, vocal performances, mime, and ng dance and the acrobatics. And it is arose in the late 18th century and became developed and recognized by the mid 19th century. So the Peking opera was extremely popular during the Qing dynasty. Okay, so Peking opera regarded as one of the cultural treasures of the China. So up until now, Peking opera, kumbaga, are still performed in China. So we have the vocal requirements used in the Peking opera uh, are greatly reduced. Using the melodies accompanying each play were also simplified and played with different traditional instruments. Next is we have the Indonesian theater. So for the Indonesian theater, we have an example of the wayang kulit. So when we say wayang kulit, it is a shadow puppet performances. Wayang kulit, shadow puppet prevalent in Java and Bali in Indonesia. So in the wayang kulit, performances are accompanied by music, usually played in three types of instrument. We have the string instrument, the wind instrument, and the percussion instruments. So the main instrument or Chinese in origin is the jinghu, which was We discussed that the last time. When we say jingo, it's a two-string instrument played with a bow. Next is we have in the arts. So our lesson for arts is we have the festival and theatrical form of Asia. So first is we have here the Thailand Lantern Festival. So for the Thailand Lantern Festival, it is known as the Yiping. And the Yiping is a Thai holiday which is celebrated annually in the second month of the Thai lunar calendar. So, when we say Thailand Lantern Festival, ano na siya, kita ka mo, ang basket which is made of paper, wherein sa sulod dira is may candle. And amo na sang ilang ginapalupad na nila sa hangin. And they usually do that, kumbaga, ng annually. Meaning, once a year na nila nga ginahimo. And it's a tradition, kumbaga. Nga sa aton pa, ng every year ginahimo nila. So, Thai lanterns is a Western invention. So, actually, ang Thai lantern, kumbaga, is not originally gid, kumbaga, nga diri sa aton. So, it was a Western invention. So, which lanterns are properly called the kumloy. So, amo na siya tawag, kumloy. And Yiping celebrations can be seen in Chiang Mai, the ancient capital of the former Lana Kingdom, which is in the Thailand. Next is we have the Kodo Taiko Drum Festival of the Japan. So, Kodo conveys two meanings. First is the heartbeat, the primary source of all the rhythm, and read it in different way. And the word can mean children of the drum. So, muna sa ang meaning sa Kodo. So, Kodo was performed in 1961 and made their debut in the Berlin Symphony, which is in the Europe. And Kodo's main instrument is the taiko drum. So, ang taiko drum muna sa ginagamit sa festival sa Japan. Next is we have the Japanese theater. Okay, so for the Japanese theater, the Japanese has two main forms of Japanese theater. First is the no, and the second is the kabuki. So when we say no, so the oldest surviving form of Japanese theater. So this was originally during 1300s, ang no theater. So the no combine music, dancing, and acting to communicate religious themes. So when they perform, kumbaga, they use, ang ilang theme is all about religious. So the play of the no theater has almost no plot and unfolds without much action. So during the intermission of the no plays, other actors perform short comical skits known as the kyogen. Amo na sa tawag, kyogen. And the actors in the no plays are wearing traditional masks and elaborate costumes. So sa no plays, all the actors are men, meaning no women are allowed. So tanan nga performers sa no play, puro lalaki. So wala babae. Next is the kabuki. So for the kabuki naman, okay, the kabuki shows art of sportsmanship. So exciting and colorful dramas that deal with themes such as love and revenge. So muna yung ang theme sa kabuki. It's all about love and revenge. So the kabuki plots are usually based on historical events, moral conflicts, with warm-hearted dramas, love stories, tales of tragedy, of conspiracy, and other mga well-known stories. So ang sa kabuki naman, yung ilang mga gina-perform, so they have love story. Aside from love story, mga tales, gina-perform man kumbaga nila. And mga historical events, kumbaga about sa ilang nga history. So, amo na ilang nga gina-play kumbaga. And last, we have the Wayang Kulit of Indonesia. So, the Wayang Kulit is the Indonesian shadow theater. So, one of the most popular puppet shows of the Indonesia. Amo na sa ang Wayang Kulit. It is performed to celebrate important occasions in Indonesia, such as the wedding, the birthday, or circumcision, and others. So the stories of puppet shows are based on the ancient Hindu epics, or recounted the adventure of well-known heroes and other evil enemies. So the main figure of the shadow play performance in the Wayang Kulit is the puppeteer and the storyteller called the dalang. So, ang sa naman, ang sa Wayang Kulit, they use kumbaga, sa aton, we can actually perform Wayang Kulit. So, all you have to do is to, kumbaga, use lang sang tape, colored paper. So, kumbaga, it depends on the characters nga imo nga himuon. Kung kasang own mga version sa Wayang Kulit. And sa Wayang Kulit, they use light para kumbaga na siya i-perform. And ang makita lang na kumbaga sa Wayang Kulit ng muna yung mga gagyo-giho ang nga ginhimog nila nga puppet. So, when we say naman dalang is the one who operates the puppet. So, siya lang nagapag-iyo sa puppet. Kumbaga nga, tinungagin himo. And, while ginapag-iyo yan he or she is also the one nga nag-narrate sang story. Next is for PE. So, our lesson in PE is all about, we have the dance terms that use in folk dancing. So, you will know our rich heritage, cultural heritage through folk dancing or through dancing. So, you will appreciate more the dance or the folk dancing once you master the different basic dance steps that you will meet in dancing. So we have here the different dance terms commonly used in folk dancing. So first is we have here the arms and lateral position. The second is the brush. Third is the bilao. Next is the cabecera. Another is the costados. The cut, hapay, kumintang, pajak, set, and last is the saludo. So the following that I've mentioned, amo na siyang mga commonly dance terms na ginagamit when you dance, especially ang folk dancing. Okay, so next is in health. So our lesson in health is we have the impact of smoking on family, environment, and the community. So family members also consider the involuntary smokers each time someone in their household smokes. Children whose parents smoke show a higher incidence of upper respiratory infections than the children of non-smokers. So, di ba, in your household, if you're one relative there, kumbaga naga-smoke, like, for example, ang imong brother or your father, so, kung sinong nag-stay sa house, so usually, haklo nila ang aso. And ano nag-itawag? They are called once you, kumbaga, mahaklo mo ang usok sa sigarilyo, you are a passive smoker. So, especially, kumbaga, sa house wherein ang mga gastay is mga bata, usually, kumbaga, they are prone to having ng respiratory infections because kumbaga ang mga bata, they keep on inhaling the smoke coming from the cigarettes, kumbaga. Kung sino man ang stay sa house. So that is why, kumbaga, your family members, especially ang naga-smoke, siya na or sila na ang reason. Sometimes nga, especially kung sa inyong houses may mga bata, sila nang kabangganan nga ang mga bata may respiratory infection because of the smoke coming from the cigarettes. Yes. So family members of the smokers who share the smoke is in closed area may experience painful headache, nausea, and dizziness in response to small amount of smoke. So for the family members, if you are staying in an enclosed area which is kumbaga close for example, in an room na sa din aircon, and for example, may smoke da. So, sino ang ara na sa room nga maka-inhale, kumbaga, sang smoke, maka-feel sang dizziness, painful headache, or sometimes nausea. So, di ba, kung makahaklo ka sa sigarilyo, ang iba is feeling nila daw masuka sila. And kasakit na yun nila nga ulo. Because sang smoke nga ilang nagakahaklo. So remember, the level of carbon monoxide in cigarette smoke in closed spaces is 4,000 times higher than those recommended by the Environmental Protection Agency. So meaning, kung grabe nga toxins ang ma-acquire mo especially kung you are staying in an enclosed area. So syempre, ang aso dira, especially sa tao nga naga-smoke, galibot-libot lang na da. And if you are staying there, so mo na saang, sige mo man ka, haklo nga, haklo. So the health concerns regarding environmental smoke are so serious that all parents who smoke should smoke outdoors or quit it for no other reason than the health of their children. So if you have brothers or your father, kumbaga nga naga-smoke, dapat ma-quit na siya sang smoking. Or kung mag-smoke magid hindi na himuon sa inyo nga sulod balay. So it should be done outside. And mas nami gid kung mag-quit na lang siya for the benefit of his children. Di ba wala man tami makuha sa smoking. Aside from having serious illness. So a pregnant mother who shares space with smokers may be endangering her unborn baby. Another situation, if sa house may ara na nag-smoke and may stay nga pregnant mother, so it can affect her unborn baby because if she stays sa isa ka place nga kumbaga ang tao dila nga stay man is naga-smoke, so it can affect her baby. Kaya every day yan kumbaga nga nagaka-haklo, nagaka-inhale din kumbaga ang smoke. Which can kumbaga cause na sa iya ng problem sa iya nga unborn baby. It is advised that pregnant women should avoid inhaling second-hand or side stream smoke. So if you ang advice sa mga pregnant women that they should avoid ang inhaling sang baho sang sigarilyo. So dapat So, ang pregnant women should stay in a place wherein, kumbaga, wala sang person nga naga-panigarilyo. Or kung makakita, kung stay sa isa ka place wherein may tao lang nag-isa nga naga-smoke, so siya na lang ang ma-adjust. So, dapat ang imo niya is, she has to stay away, palayo sa. Or ma-avoid sa tao nga naga-smoke. So, our environment is affected by cigarette smoke. Smoking pollutes the air we inhale and everything else in our environment. Of course, kumbaga sa atong nga kalibutan, so, pila ka milyon ang mga tao nga naga-smoke. And ang aso na nila nga ginapagwa sa ilang bakba. It can cause, kumbaga, air pollution, which can damage our environment. So, secondhand smoke is most hazardous form of indoor air pollution. So, amo na siya. So, aside from the factories, or kumbaga sa mga transportation usok, di ba ang usok sa hamakwa sa mga transportation, amo na sa ang air pollution. Also, ang smoking. Air pollution na nasa. So, kung ikaw mag-think, pila ka million ang mga tao nga naga-smoke. So, sila na ang naga-cause, isa na sila sa naga-cause ng air pollution. So, to protect the people in the community from cigarette smoke, so we have a law that prohibits smoking in centers of the youth activities such as play schools, preparatory schools, high schools, colleges, and universities, youth hostels, and recreational facilities for the public. So this law is the RA 9211 or the Tobacco Regulation Act of 2003. So, as you all know, in the public places, hindi ka maka-smoke. So, any public places nga imo katuan, so there's a law nga hindi ka maka-smoke. So, kung nakpan ka mag-smoke, so you will have a penalty. May penalty na. May fine na sa. So, hasta na sa third offense. So, first offense, second offense, and third offense. I think ang first offense nila is 1,000 pesos. Kung if you are caught, kumbaga nga naga-smoke in public places. So, ang mga person nga naga-smoke, so they can smoke, kumbaga, sa ilang house or outside sa ilang balay. Pero aside from that, hindi na pwede mag-smoke sa mga public places. So knowing the deadly effects of cigarette smoking, so do you still want to smoke? So do you want to be one of those who advocate a smoke-free environment? So if you decide to be one, so you are very good. So it only shows that you value your life. So and that's all for our lesson for the quarter 4 week 3 in MAPEH8. So thank you everyone.